If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. And the world is going wild when they call for you. And the river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button. And welcome to the podcast. Fun and interesting one today. I actually completely forgot that The Crown was coming out today. Like that's how much this season is just a flop. Now I haven't actually watched it, but from what I've read in the reviews and the way that they are describing it, it sounds awful. And to be honest, I'm not surprised because season 5, we all hated season 5. And I wonder if actually they are just sabotaging the whole plot on purpose. Because, mind you, the guy that writes The Crown, he's a bit of a royalist. We're going to get into all of that. Let's see who's here. Hey, Fancy. Hey, Lorna. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Dorothy Ross. How you doing? Hey, Gwen. Hey, Patty J. Hey, Wendy. Zubaida Ali. That's a name I don't think I've seen before. Are you a silent listener? Are you... Yeah, sending virtual hugs to Church Nelly. Hope Church Nelly is doing well. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Right, first things first. Yeah, The Crown. So I actually need... I need to watch it. But this is what the critics are saying. And I'm gonna read the Guardian's review because that was one of the more interesting ones. So let's have a look at this. Um, okay, so the Crown season 6 review is so bad it's basically an out of body experience. The Dan Obsessed series is the very definition of bad writing. Despite brilliant cast, it's crass, soapy dive into the abyss, not least in the atrocious scenes featuring a ghost Diana. Yeah, that's the part that got me. It features a ghost Diana. So, welcome to season 6 of The Crown, or the Diana show as it has now become. I mean, obviously it would focus on Diana. So I don't know if she's trying to be snarky there because, we are in the Diana era. So it would focus on Diana and that story because it's so central to the monarchy and or the modern monarchy and a turning point. Goes on to say, where once you could expect a 10-episode run to represent at least a decade of royal shenanigans, limiting the political time and throwing in an examination of evolving palace protocol, the first 3 episodes of the latest installment deal with just the last 8 weeks of Diana's life, and the fourth with the crash and the funeral. I mean, I don't know what she was expecting them to actually focus on. Because what else of great significance happened during that time in the royal family? Goes on to say, unless you are reading this while ensconced in Diana, a shrine of your own making, those few months are recreated in a truly punishing level of detail. From the beginning, The Crown has walked a tightrope between prestige of drama, capable of evoking a world of emotional struggle from a single scene or queenly line and soapy nonsense. It started teetering in season 3, lost its balance entirely over the next two, and is now plummeting in the abyss. Despite the uniformly brilliant performances of the entire cast, um, the kind of spin Imelda Stoughton as the Queen can put on a line as simple, "Oh, that girl is a gift," but the crown is no longer worthy of it or her. In the manner of Hallmark movie, Diana is marked for death at every turn, just in case you are unaware of the fate of the most famous woman in the world and have forgotten the frenzy of grief that gripped the country thereafter. She is, in The Crown, telling of it, a virtual saint. See her talk about landmines, see her play normal middle class games with her beloved boys, see her fall in love with sweet Dodi Fayed, see her furrowed brow as she takes the sensible advice of her therapist on board and pledges to start a new life as soon as she gets home from Paris and away from these villainous paparazzi who are following her into the tunnel. And thus, the post mortem convulsions of an entire country are presented as no more than her due. By the time she has called William and Harry, the point has been so laboured that this is the last communications they will have with their mother, that there might as well have been a news ticker along the bottom of the screen screaming in capitals, "Tunnel coming, she gonna die so bad." This is a very snarky review, actually. And yet, the worst is still to come. After her death, Ghost Diana appears to Prince Charles and then to the Queen as a kind of angel, illuminating for them the way and the light and the best way of tending to the mood of the people, whose very individual heart she always had a direct hotline to. She thanks Charles for being so raw, broken, and handsome in the hospital when he saw her body. Ugh, that sounds really cringe. I'll take that with me, she adds. My notes at this point, um, okay, let me just try and skim through this because this reviewer waffles quite a bit. By the time Ghost Diana takes the Queen's hand and gently whispers, "You've always shown us what it meant to be British. Maybe it's time to learn too," and prompts her to cave into the headlines, "Demand to show us you care, ma'am." I am having quite the out of body experience myself. But Ghost Diana is all of a piece with what is now simply a crass, by numbers piece of filmmaking with a script that barely aspires to craft, let alone art, anymore. She doesn't get to keep the man of her dreams, says Diana to her ex husband as they achieve the Tente, but the friend of her dreams. Look, what you've managed to achieve in the year since your divorce, says Dodie at the beginning of the last night. A global anti-landmine campaign raising millions for charity. Okay, so it waffles on a bit. And then it ends by saying, beyond all of its formal failures, late period Crown is also impossibly hamstrung by being well within living memory. Okay, so I'm going to disagree slightly there, because there's a whole generation that doesn't necessarily know what happened during the Diana years. It's like they know there was a Princess Diana and she died, and the royal family were kind of mean to her. But given all the press spin, I don't think it's a bad thing to revisit that time. Even if it's not entirely accurate through the eyes of the Crown. Goes on to say, even if there were anything to engage with, the memories and consequent questions that crowd into the viewer's mind at every stage would make it impossible. Was Charles really so astute about what her death would mean so quickly? It seems unlikely. From everything we knew then and the mountains we have learned since, and we know Prince Philip didn't murmur to Harry an explanation of the crowd's behavior during the funeral procession. They're not crying for her, they're crying for you. Because we were effectively there. You would have seen it. The suspension of disbelief can never be established. Ghost Diana dances among ruins. Well, yeah, you can see that reviewer was just not impressed. But I guess, I mean, I'm actually gonna, straight after this podcast, I'm gonna watch a couple of episodes. I might watch it on high speed. Dorothy Ross, I'm having an out of body feeling listening to this. Yeah, it sounds really straight. Like, I was not expecting a ghost Diana, but do you know what? I'm glad that I know all of this going into it, because now I have zero expectations, and neither do any of you. So, yeah, there we go. Here's some screenshots, by the way. Yeah, and so what they've done is they've released part 1 of season 6, which I think is 4 or 5 episodes, and there'll be a part 2. And I think that features the very early parts of William and Kate's relationship. We'll see how they depict that, because there's the murmurs of what actually happened during the early years of their relationship and how they got together, and there's how the palace has tried to spin that. So we'll see what route the Crown and its writers take. Right. Over to this. Endgame, Omid Scobie's book, is about to come out. I think members of the press have been given a copy, and we have a few details in People magazine. There's been quite a mixed reaction to this book in some parts of the squad. Some squaddies are still very angry about finding freedom, and to that I have to say, well, we know that there was a lot of misinformation on the part of the palace and Jason North. So I'm not really mad at Omid for finding freedom. I'm really not. I know that, Jenny Afia had to come out and make some clarifications, but at the end of the day, I think if I have to take all of Omid's work into account, I think he has been the most fair. I think he's been the most balanced, and I don't necessarily think that he deserves the criticism that he's been getting. Now, whether or not there's actually anything in Endgame that is new or groundbreaking is left to be seen, or read rather. And I guess some people feel, well, Harry wrote Spare, and Harry and Meghan did the Netflix documentary, so what else is there to hear unless Harry and Meghan want to say more? And that's a fair point. But to that, I would also say there have been so many royal reporters and so-called royal experts that have written so many books. So why not just allow Omid to have his moment when he has been the most balanced of all? Right. Let's have a read of the People article. Prince Harry and Prince William's relationship is beyond repair. There is no going back. These were two men who once upon a time were firmly aligned in their outlook, says Omid. Were they? Were they firmly aligned in their outlook? Okay, so Prince Harry laid bare the painful rift between himself and his family in the pages of his memoir Spare last January. and the world learned the extent of the division between Harry and his brother William. But nearly a year after Spur's publication, absolutely nothing has changed. Author Omid Scobie, whose new book Endgame is out November 28th, tells people in this week's cover story. In fact, the hurt and anger between the two brothers, one, the Prince of Wales and the future king, and the other, Duke of Sussex, the Californian, has now been hardened into something colder and more immovable, says Gomez, indifference. I saw Harry's release of Spare as his last attempt at telling his family how he's felt for years, says Scobie, who chronicles both the breakdown of the royal family and the weakening of the modern monarchy in Endgame. Because clearly there's never been an open enough forum to have these conversations or share these feelings. The royal family, of course, is not known for its focus on feelings other than feelings of jealousy. But in Endgame, Scobie writes that perhaps more than any other point in history, the family is ignoring its fractures at its own peril because part of the buy-in from the British public is that the royal family is the nation's family. And yet, Scobie says, heir to the throne, William has prioritized his loyalty to the monarchy, also to the press and Rupert Murdoch, even quietly cooperating with the UK press to undermine Harry. In writing Endgame, I was talking to a source quite early on in the process, and they called Harry a defector, and that was William's view, says Scobie. Well, I guess you could call him a defector because he's essentially left a cult. When you're born into the royal family, you're not meant to leave. You are meant to be there as this puppet, this Hunger Games tribute to distract the people, to protect the monarchy, and the monarchy then protects the crown. These were two men who once upon a time were firmly aligned in their outlook. One of them had to move on to also protect the crown. Exactly. But will there be a crown left to protect decades from now? There's a real chance here to learn and adapt to modern society and also make up for mistakes of the past, says Gomid. It's their move. If you ask me, it's way too late. I think we've got, if there's 10 nails in the coffin, we're at number 7. I think that William and Kate, if they divorce, will be number 8. Dan Wooten scandal, if William is implicated in any way. Sorry, I meant Dan Wooten, Christian Jones, Jason Knopf scandal. If William is implicated in any way, that will be number 9. And if there's any more, underlying scandals in terms of royal money, Prince Andrew, that will be number 10. Even if the monarchy endures, the question remains of whether sacrificing brotherly bonds was worth it. Well, in Harry's own words, those brotherly bonds were strained for some time. These are probably sad realizations that will be had far too late in the journey, says Scobie. In the eyes of some within the institution, Harry is a threat to the crown. His freedom to exert his own thinking outside of the confines of the institution has made him the enemy. Of course, because they don't want anybody in that institution to have freedom. You're meant to serve the monarchy and the crown. So, I mean, I actually don't think that I'm going to read Endgame, but if anybody does, then they want to come on, they want to talk about it, let me know and I'm happy to have you up. I'll just be reading the notes from the squaddies who have read it and the reviews when they come out. Donna, you have pre-ordered the audiobook. Okay, let us know how it is, please. Thanks for the warning about the crap. Yeah. I mean, a Diana ghost? A Diana ghost. Are you for real? What terrible writing. Joyce said, I will not watch The Crown, I never have, never will. I care about Meghan only. I mean, to be honest, the production of The Crown, especially the early episodes, is incredible. But historically, it leaves out a lot, and in many places, it's completely inaccurate. Where it wins is its acting and set design and costume design. In the early seasons, I think it got worse as time went on. Luna, you said, I think the Endgame is more about the royal family as a whole. Yeah. Whether or not there's any new details, though, I guess we'll find out. Okay, a lot of you saying that you are going to purchase it. Resistors, you said even Jobo, the heart of Rota, praised Omid as a good journalist. Yeah, he did. I think they are also all aware that Omid has been the most fair. I think some of them maybe even um maybe not embarrassed by their behavior, but perhaps regretting that they didn't take more of a middle ground, because I think that uh, Omid is being rewarded handsomely for being fair, whereas the others took the path of just being basically propaganda mouthpieces for the palace, and that's now n- taken a bad turn because the rota has been exposed. Basically, it's just palace propaganda, and the other royals don't make them as much money with their stories as Harry and Meghan do. Right. Next thing, Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton gave her speech for shaping us, and I've been watching a lot of royal content creators, and they're basically all said the same thing. We still actually have no idea what shaping us is meant to do. What is what is its aim? Where is that funding for the money going? What is the long-term impact going to be? And almost every speech we've heard from Kate regarding her project, we've been told is a landmark speech. She's going to give a landmark speech to kick off her campaign. Biggest speech of her life. There's a lot of talking and speech giving and not a lot of impact being created. Donating some money so that kids can have school dinners or something would be more impactful than whatever this is. I don't even know what to say to this. It's almost a slap in the face, to be honest, to the British public. On some level, I don't think that it's entirely Catherine's fault because let's be honest, um, royal women historically are just meant to be seen and not really heard. You're meant to have them royal babies, an heir and a couple of spares, and that's it. So, upon entering this institution, there was no expectation for Kate to be this um kind of boss girl figure. But because of where society has moved and the presence of Meghan, everything shifted. Meghan came in, and now you have this self made millionaire actress, UN advocate, world traveling, hit blog writing, celebrity friend having, multi talented, calligrapher, um, clothing line designing, all of the things person, and then you just got Kate. Meghan was never part of the plan, and it just threw everything up in the air. So I think what's happened now is they're trying to give Kate something, despite the fact that she, was William's girlfriend for 10 years. And then the first 10 years that they were married, she didn't really do anything that was greatly impactful. Because the model for royals is there is an event, you show up looking good, you have your pictures taken, you wave to the crowd, you shake some hands, you nod your head, the cameras do their thing, take some pictures, take some video, and then we go home. And then it's done. And they've been doing this for decades, and it's been working up until now. Because again, when Meghan came in, she did multiple projects in 2 years. We had the highest selling Vogue magazine in the UK for over a decade when she did the gosh, I forget what it's called now, but she had all of the activists on the covers of Vogue, and she interviewed some like innovators, activists, all types of interesting women. And then we had the SmartWorks clothing line that raised money for the SmartWorks charity. And then we had the Together Cookbook that raised money for Grenfell, helped the community of Grenfell more than the British government, actually. So here's Catherine and the courtiers trying to give her something. And it never had to be, and it doesn't have to be a competition. But I think that the way in which they threw Meghan under the bus in order to prop up Kate, and the whole Meghan made Kate cry, which we now is a lie. Sorry, now know is a lie. They kind of made it a competition themselves. And I'm sorry, but Meghan's winning. With that, I think I am done. Was there anything else I wanted to? Oh yes, one last thing. Yeah, there was actually one last thing I wanted to mention. This whole thing about Harry calling Charles. Did he call Charles for his birthday? Didn't he call Charles for his birthday? I've also seen some reports that Lilibet and Archie were on a Zoom call singing him happy birthday. And you know what? Honestly, I don't care. I don't care because when it comes to matters like this, I think it's 100% between the family. And if that did happen, it means that the palace leaked it. And Harry has already said he doesn't want to have any communications with his family if there's going to be leaks. So, you got a Victoria Ward for the Telegraph saying Harry enjoyed a conversation with his father, and then you've got the other lot over at the Daily Express saying Harry didn't speak to King Charles on his birthday. So who's telling the truth and who's lying? Quite frankly, I just don't think that this is anything that anybody should care about. Like this is not news. It's nonsense. Okay, I'm gonna end it there with I'm gonna end with your comments and then we'll call it a day. Thank you everyone. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't. Adrian, you said I want to read how Omid was treated by Pithmoron. I didn't actually consider whether or not Omid would add his own journey in that. Yes, that's a good point actually, because he's been through the ringer. Lightside, you said, I'm on the fence, but a squaddy commented that there was too much William leaning stuff. I cannot affirm this since I haven't read it. I guess we won't know until the press who've read it serializes it and then we read it ourselves. Dorothy Roshi said Charles's plan was for his two sons and their wives to take over duties, but his plan did not work out. He is mad. Well, you shouldn't have kicked out the two members of the family that were actually working. Like I said, you said, I heard her speech and I'm not going to be a troll today. She actually did okay. Not on Megan's level, but I didn't hear mumbling. Yeah. Do you know what? It's probably the best I've heard her speak ever. But it was still a pretty basic speech. But it was better than usual. Better than the usual mumbling. Lola Love, you said, I read that the crown centers on the people in the line of succession. This explains why William will be primarily focused on later in the series. I mean, I think they probably just focus on the the most interesting, the most drama filled, and certainly if you're talking about modern era of the monarchy, the Diana era is the era. Like I don't know what else they would have focused on. Cupcake, who said shaping us is shaping out, no outcome. I mean, I want to know what was the outcome of the big five questions, when we were researching babies' brains. Okay, folks, I'm going to end it there. Tomorrow's Friday, thank goodness. And yeah, I'm gonna watch a couple of episodes, and then yeah, I'll let you know fully what I think of The Crown tomorrow. Thank you, folks. Ciao, ciao.
If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. 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 Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. The world is going wild when they call for you, and the river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hello, my royal diamonds. Thank you so much for tuning into the Duchess of Success podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment on the video to help the algorithm find us. It is my pleasure to bring you all of the royal tea, honey. And if you would like to donate to the channel, please check out the links in the description box. All of your donations help to keep the channel running. Thank you for your support, and remember, you don't need a crown to be royal. We are all queens.